Hello everyone, my name is Leo Tang, who have studied and worked as an IT consultant for a few different organizations in the past several years. Previous than that, I was the business director for D2T Corporation, and I'm now a student who is following a network security degree course. Okay, moving on to our today's topic, which is security in cloud computing. Cloud computing is a very broad term which contains many different aspects. I would love to discuss all aspects of the security around cloud computing environments, but due to the limitation of time, I will only focus on a few aspects. The presentation is divided into three different sections, which are cloud computing, cloud security concerns, and the possible cloud security solution. The first section is cloud computing. This section is designed to give a brief understanding of the term cloud, what a cloud really means, where is it come from. Then the cloud form and its deployment models are also discussed in this section. Second is the cloud computing security concerns. Different security concerns will be discussed and analyzed in this section. We will look at the top three biggest challenges or concerns which many enterprise organizations are facing when they move their IT department to the cloud. How secure is your data when it's in cloud? Will the cloud be available at all times? Can a future of an organization rely on cloud computing? What are the legislation and compliance with an organization need or must follow in order to legally operate? After understanding all the security concerns in cloud computing environments, we will be able to choose and apply some of the possible technologies as our solution in order to secure our data. Encryption type, secure remote access, I discussed it in detail. What are the acts and standards should an organization follow? Why do they need to follow this act? What are the benefits of this legal solution? Now, welcome everyone. After my talk, you should be able to explain the term of cloud computing, what this term really means. You should be able to identify the security concern in this service environment. Lastly, you could choose and apply the most suitable security solution for protecting your organization data when it's in cloud. Section 1. Cloud computing. There's many definitions given to explain the term, from standard English for non-English people to a very technical jargon for IT experts. The following are some of the definitions. First, cloud computing is where software applications, data storage, are accessed over the internet. Or cloud computing is a method of running application software and storing related data in a centralized computing system and providing customer or other user access them through the internet. I personally would define the cloud as cloud computing is the model of convenience on-demand networks to access a shared pool of configurable computing resources such as networks, servers, and other services that can be rapidly provisioned and released with a minimal management effort or service provider interaction. This is the diagram of the cloud. The name cloud computing comes from the use of the cloud-shaped symbol that represents the complex structure of the cloud based on virtualization. The cloud itself contains the infrastructure as a service, IaaS, platform as a service, PaaS, and application or software as a service, SaaS for short. These services provide the ability that link remote services with user data. Software and computation allows the user to access their computing resources over the internet. Each different services is normally used by different groups of users. Infrastructure layer is the environment which network architects work with. Network and storage are configured in this infrastructure level. The infrastructure is typically offsite and provided by a third party in form of computers or more often in the form of virtual machine. The second service is the platform as a service, PaaS, which contains the operating system, programming language, web and database servers. PaaS allow application developers to utilize the ability of cloud to run software solutions without the cost and the complexity of setting up a software testing system. End users are people who use the last service type of cloud computing, SaaS. Often, end users will use desktop or mobile devices such as personal laptop, tablet, and smartphone to access the application in the cloud through the internet. Aside of different types of cloud which are used by different type of people, each cloud service type also means different level of responsibility. As we can see from the diagram, we have two main function groups of people in cloud computing environments. One is the cloud providers, who provide the computing resources, the cloud services, and other one is the cloud subscribers, who use these cloud services. The responsibility of the cloud subscriber is down to the virtualized infrastructures. If they are using IaaS model, this is where the cloud subscriber have the most control over their system, and the cloud providers have the least control over the system. Similar to other computing models, the responsibility of this party is changed and scaled differently, which depends on what cloud model they are using. There are several options for an organization if they want to deploy the cloud computing for their use. The four cloud deployment models are known as public clouds, private clouds, hybrid clouds, and a community cloud. A cloud is called public when the service is rendered over the network that is open for public use. Technically, there may be a little or no difference between public and private cloud architectures. However, security considerations may be substantially different for services such as application, storage, and other resources that are made available for the service provider for the public audience, and when communication is affected over the non-trusted network. Generally, public cloud service providers like Amazon AWS, Microsoft, and Google own and operate the infrastructures and offer access only via internet. With public cloud, direct connectivity is not offered. The second the second deployment model is private cloud. This is infrastructures operated for the single organization, whether managed internally or by the third party and hosted internally or externally. Undertaking a private cloud project requires a significant level of degree of engagement to virtualize the business environment and require the organization um, to re-evaluate evaluate the decision about existing resources. When done right, it can improve business, but every step in this project raises the security issue that must address to prevent serious vulnerabilities. Private cloud requires the organization to buy, build, and manage everything in order to operate. Therefore, an organization will not be benefit if they choose to deploy private cloud due to its high cost in investment. The third deployment model, hybrid clouds, is the composition of the two or more clouds. Private cloud, community cloud, or public clouds that remains a unit in entities but are bound together. This deployment offers the benefit of multiple deployment models for the organization. An, an example would be an extended ability, which means that an organization could either the capacity or the capacity of the cloud service by aggregation, integration, or organize or customization, which um, another cloud with another cloud services. Hybrid cloud would be the best suitable deployment method if an organization has sensitive client data which they wish to securely store in-house on the private cloud application, but they interconnect that application to a building application provided on the public cloud as a software as a service. This is just one of 100 cases which an organization can deploy the hybrid cloud to benefit themselves. Lastly, the type of deployment model is the community cloud. This is the shared cloud infrastructure between the several organizations from a specified community with a common concerns such as security, compliance, etc., whether management internally or by the third party and hosted internally or externally. The costs are spread over the fewer users than the public cloud, but more than the private cloud. So only some of the cost-saving potential of cloud computing are realized. So cloud deployment models is the last point which I want to address in this section um, of the presentation. We are going to move on one or two of focus cloud security concerns.